is because we write these rules for the greater good, and then we have these pop locks on them, right? These little fail safes. Put some human element
what
in
I'm
there.
about to tell you, what I'm about to tell everyone in the audience is worth more than $50,000 in tuition in any university program name. Okay. Over here is Thomas More's Utopia. Over here is Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's Objectivism, right? Utilitarianism, including Peter Singer's Utilitarianism, right in the fucking middle. Okay? If you want to know what utilitarianism is in the 21st century, what it is for FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, what it is for Peter Singer, what it is for Alex O'Connor, Cosmic Skeptic, it is exactly the same as Ayn Rand's Objectivism plus charity. That's the only difference. So if you don't know, Ayn Rand is actually against charity. She says, no, just stack up your money and then go balling out like 50 Cent. Buy yourself a red sports car, sleep with hoes off Instagram. And of course, as we know, as a fucking fact, that is what Peter Singer has done with his money and fame. We know. Sorry, you can see my YouTube video. I was the first, and I'm still the only YouTube channel to deal with the reality of Peter Singer's sex life. Peter Singer does live like an exponent of Ayn Rand.
Well, in my, I actually, on my show,
that's the
on
difference.
my live stream, we talked about it before you. So I would say that mine was the first. Look, yours came out a couple days later, but yours was way more in depth. Was way more in depth.
That's interesting. So you beat me to press by a couple days. That's interesting.
I beat you to press, but I did not.
Is it in the title? Is it in the title? Does it say like Peter Singer?
No, it's just one of my because I do pre-shift every morning.
That's called burying the lead in political science.
Well, because I don't know.
No, you don't. So you don't get the credit. You didn't go all the way. All right.
I went all the way.
Okay.
I simply.
That's interesting.
With the pre-shift, a lot of times, because I'm doing vegan shit that's coming up every day. So a lot of times I'm first to press, but I don't have like.
But you don't really. Right. Yeah.
I don't get really granular. I'm like, oh, this is what's happening, and this is how I feel about it.
Okay.
And then we.
So with a footnote, I was the first one to take on. And look, almost nobody cares. That video today has 1,600 views, and that's so sad. That is how many people care who speak English, because I mean it's such a huge story. There's no way to exaggerate the significance of that, including the significance for utilitarianism. But look, I'm totally opposed to the philosophy of Ayn Rand. I think the philosophy of Ayn Rand is laughable bullshit. Many people in this audience, maybe not 100%.
It's interesting. Hold on a second. Let me back up. Just because we are talking about Ayn Rand, and I'm grateful to be talking about a different artist a writer, I should say, other than Peter fucking Singer. So Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand,
right?
She, first of all, if for people who don't know, she's the one who coined the phrase "all hail the mighty dollar sign." She had a giant dollar sign in her foyer of her home that was a massive statue of just the dollar sign, kind of like Richard.
She was the first person to say that unironically. It's not that nobody has said it before.
No, she coined the phrase. Like she was the first. Okay. Yeah, she was the one who said it. Yeah, all hail the mighty dollar sign.
Said it as a joke before, but she was not joking. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, she wasn't joking. The new dollar, the dollar is God, basically. Mm-hmm. And she did write one really good book, but she wrote a lot of horrible books that were really fucking changed American politics in a way that is profoundly disgusting, and has, I think, created the neocon movement, really, the neoconservative movement, that if you make money, you're you were the chosen one of God. I know that was not.
Her work has been influential. I wouldn't say it was that influential. I would point out that Alan Greenspan. So if you're old enough, everyone knows the name Alan Greenspan. If you're young enough, you've never heard of Alan Greenspan. But Alan Greenspan was one of the most powerful and influential people in American politics. And he was very literally a disciple of Ayn Rand. Now, by the way, interestingly, how he applied her philosophy in his life and in U.S. politics is another question. Like most ridiculous philosophies, what you actually do with it in practice, it kind of looks 90% the same as what someone else would have done if they'd had the jobs that Greenspan. He did bank bailouts. He did all kinds of things that don't seem like what an Ayn Rand follower would do. But nevertheless, So yeah, it has been influential. I would not say it created neoconservatism. I wouldn't go that far. But yes,
Okay, but let's go back. Let's go back to like
influential voice.
I am
And
a
it's
little
incredibly
surprised that
stupid.
you want to.
Go on. Yeah.
She is a horrible human being. Was a horrible human being. I think that Paul Ryan and others were waving her book around. He made his staffers read Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged. No one should ever read Atlas Shrugged. Don't even see the movies. I think they made 3 movies based on it. Who is John Galt? You can read the Wikipedia page and get everything you need out of that piece of garbage. It's really fucking horrible, and it's been told again and again in other stories throughout time. If you read Atlas Shrugged, you'll be like, "Oh, this is just like this other movie, just like this other movie."
But here is my point in relation to veganism.
I got one thing. Okay, but I want to hear the veganism thing. But I am actually kind of surprised that you don't like Fountainhead, because Fountainhead.
Go on. You have a point you're on the way to making, or no? You just want to ask about like the film?
No, I've never seen the film. I've read the book. I've read Atlas Shrugged, and I've read Fountainhead. I never read her other shit. I've read little essays and stuff.
Fountainhead's the one about the sexy architect, right? The main characters. Yes. And women have to submit to him because he's so dominant, and he pursues his own uncompromising artistic vision. The Fountainhead. She was a woman who could not be tamed. He was a man who would not back down. Coming to theaters, 1962.
I forgot about the sex stuff in that book.
There's rape
right now.
Too. There was a rape in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a pro rape scene in that. You're absolutely right. There is, but that's a lot of books. I want like.
Anyway, I don't like Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead. If you guys hadn't guessed, I'm joking around, but no, I completely deplore this.
Like Lolita. Lolita is a long book about a rapist.
Of gore. I mean, I don't like a lot of this crap.
Fountainhead's so good, though. The idea of the uncompromising, I will not compromise it, and the way it destroys him, and the way that the Fountainhead, through
I think the most influential part of all,
brings up everybody else.
The depiction of the left-wingers, that the left-wingers are cringing and insincere in pursuit of the same goals, that what the leftists desire, they achieve in a dishonest way, whereas the dominant right-wing Ayn Randian libertarian conservative or whatever, he knows what he wants and he directly takes it.
Yes,
that meme still exists in the world. Yeah,
absolutely. But I would say that
where's the point? We got to take this back. We're talking about fucking veganism.
Yes, I want to get back to the veganism, but Fountainhead was at least a well-written, good book that actually had a message about creativity and creative pursuits that isn't unlike what you are suggesting.
He is flattering me by comparing to Ayn Rand.
I was saying that Ayn Rand.
Well, look, politics makes strange bedfellows. Another comparison is my approach to Rastafarianism. This may sound silly, but look at what Bob Marley accomplished. Now, really, Bob Marley really got a political message out to the world, to millions of people and so on. Now, okay, what do I have in common with Bob Marley? Nothing. But no, I think Bob Marley is a significant precedent, that way too. Yeah. All right. So look,
because he didn't like soap or medicine, by the way. He was part of that crowd. So
yeah. He refused to get surgery done on his cancer, and therefore he died.
Refused to fucking wash his foot after he hurt it in the soccer. Like all sorts of things that he wouldn't seek medical attention.
The total number of children he had remains unknown too. The number of women he impregnated is so astronomical. Nobody knows how many kids he has.
All right, so back to veganism and Ayn Rand.
Right. So yeah. Who in their right mind would say the model for the future of the vegan movement is Ayn Rand and Ayn Rand objectivism and the shit? Nobody would say that. Nobody. So why has it been so easy? So Ayn Rand is over here. Thomas More's Utopia is here. Thomas More's Utopia really is the beginning, or the first extant. I mean, there probably were other philosophers who've been forgotten, but this is really the beginning of this movement in English language philosophy. It's part of the redefinition of the modern world. And then we get to utilitarianism, and then Ayn Rand. You have to be mentally disabled to say Ayn Rand is the future of the vegan movement. So why has it been so easy to convince people that utilitarianism is the future? Because, again, utilitarianism is basically Ayn Rand plus one, and Ayn Rand's philosophy is basically utilitarianism minus one. The only difference is the role of charity. Because what Peter Singer has to say to you is go out and live like 50 Cent, live like the former CEO of Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Get rich or die trying, but give away all your money for the greater good.
That's right. So it's Bill Gates, 50 Cent, ballin' millionaire crap. I mean, it's just so ludicrous. Yeah, bro, the future of Cambodia is millionaires in yachts. Totally. What the future of democracy in Myanmar? Apply this to any real world problem. Hey, how are we going to bring about feminism in Iran, equal rights for women in Iran?
That's funny because
we got some millionaires on yachts. That's going to solve the problem. Come on,
Well, if the millionaires on yachts sold all their yachts and gave their money to the poor, and maybe you would have something.
Well, right, but this is the thing. So James Aspie himself fell into this trap. James Aspie, he is not intellectual enough to understand utilitarianism at all. I mean, he is not intellectual enough to join this conversation at all. But I've clips of him directly saying where he explains his methodology. His methodology was to become a millionaire on a yacht. And then he thought once he has the millions of dollars and the yacht and like women in bikinis on the yacht with him, that then people will follow his Instagram and people will be interested. People want to imitate him.
It's going to be like that Bazillion guy, Bajilzin. What's that guy's name? The poker player, Bajilzer? I forget.
Dan Bilzerian, I think is who you're thinking
of.
Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate would be another.
Yeah, get money in the Bugatti, and then you'll have the ladies, and then you'll have the followers. Yeah.
Well, it turns out Peter Singer is an example too. We just didn't know. I mean, Destiny the Streamer is an example, but now we're finding out.
He kept that shit secret though because he wanted to maximize joy and minimize suffering. So he kept his shit secret.
You got to get him on the show next. You got to get.
He was a secret ball. I would love to ask Peter Singer.
He has made appearances on tiny YouTube channels to get 5 views, so it's not impossible. The method being described, the method that James Aspie signed up for, all these people signed up for, it has already been tried and failed. So, like, how many times do you have to fail before you admit this isn't going to work and you've tried it from it? So, yeah.